She's the strongest little baby that I know. I just loved her a lot.
I had to quit being selfish and being wrapped up in myself and worry about them.
We just needed help.
We created this program with the idea of child safety first and foremost.
This program really takes a different look at families and birth parents as the primary source of safety for kids, even though they may have hit a bump, even though they may have hit a lot of bumps prior to their kids coming into care. But they are the primary source of safety and security for their kids. And really, when kids are removed, that's the first time that parents get that wake-up call that this is out of control.
My grandmother owns this house. I've lived here off and on with my kids for the last 7 years. There was a lot of traffic here, a lot of drug use, a lot of drama. But whenever they came and took my kids and told me they're no longer in your custody, they're in state custody, that kind of changed everything. When it, came down to it, and I had to make that choice, was forced into it, my children, of course, are more important.
We got kicked out of the place we were living at. It was a bad situation. We called and asked for help from a social worker that we had been talking to, and she got involved. They took custody in Madison. They couldn't find anywhere through our families and friends because of her medical problems.
All the stuff that she had wrong with her, and she could still smile and be happy. It's gotta be, a really strong person.
So we ended up getting to go to the shelter.
We created this program with the idea of child safety first and foremost, but also with an understanding that with supports and services, families who have crisis as a result of some kind of stressors that can be impacted do have an opportunity to actually resolve that crisis.
But about 72 hours after kids are removed, parents are like, holy cow, this is out of control. And if you're supportive in that process, you can utilize that realization to cause real and permanent change to occur.
We do 60 days of intensive care for children. Families come into the shelter and work intensively with their kids while they're in the shelter. They're able to continue their natural parenting relationship with their kids by being there in the morning to get them cereal for breakfast before they go to school, or cooking them dinner at night, helping the kids with their homework, helping them with their bath and bedtime routines. The only time that the families are not there is during the night while the children are sleeping.
I think that going to the shelter was the best option for us because we got to see her every day. So we weren't, really separated.
We got to see her a lot. We got to come and eat dinner there with her. Our family could come whenever they wanted.
I got to go and visit them as much as I wanted, pretty much. Give them baths, make them dinner, talk to them on the phone.
It was more convenient, I think, and easier for us and our family. I think it was good for us and good for, good for us to be together still.
So I hold them up a lot in the beginning when they're in crisis, guiding them through the process. But then as we move forward, I kind of step back and I let them start to do it and experience some of those failures so we can see, what are you going to do when we're not around? What are you going to do in 70 days when your kids are maybe home with you and you've got a problem? How do you solve that?
I think it's a very good program. They help you step to step as much as they can. It's not all just, well, what are you going to do? They give you advice and, try to help better yourself.
Joe said you have to, step up and realize that you're a junkie and you've brought this on yourself. You know, you made this happen, and own up to it and change it. So I told him I would.
The kids' guardians come to the table and say, we want your kids to be safe, but we want your family to be together. And so families begin to see the partnership and the ability to solve their own problems.
The courts granted her custody back with us. So we all three moved in here.
We painted these, we bought them at Walmart, and they were all white at first because her walls in her nursery were pink and white.
A lot of these, she's smiling, she's happy. You know, she has all this different stuff that's wrong with her, and she's smiling in pretty much all these pictures.
We just needed help getting, you know, back on our feet to where we had somewhere to call home again. But we were never disconnected as a family.
It was relieving to be able to have Madison back with us and not have to worry about, you know, what's happening with her today, who's the nurse going to be today, you know, what's going to happen tonight. Now she's in my house and I know everything that's going on, so I don't have to worry about that so much.
She was a little angel. That's how I describe her. Anybody that met her, you know, she touched everybody's hearts, you know, in different ways, but she touched everybody's hearts. She was the strongest person I've ever known.
All the stuff that she had wrong with her and she could still smile and be happy, it's gotta be, you know, a really strong person. I just loved her a lot.
This program teaches me that it is possible to get your kids back in 60 days, that it is possible to get clean and stay clean, that there are people out there who will go above and beyond for you. Out of all the catastrophe in my own life that I've caused, it is the best thing that's happened in the midst of all that for me and for my kids. It definitely deserves to continue, definitely.
It's highly successful. We are able to reunify children in an average length of 44 days as opposed to 60 days. And the average length of stay in foster care for typical kids that come into the system is 28 months. So we are saving substantial time in the life of a child, substantial dollars for taxpayers, and ultimately we're reducing trauma to children, which is going to have a long-term enormous societal impact.
It's a humbling privilege to be able to walk alongside these parents and help them figure out that, yeah, you had a problem, but you can solve that problem, and if you continue the momentum, your family ends up in a much better place.